I share your voice note. My cousin and my brother. No one reacted but my cousin, and she's like, "Wow, this dude is just intense and intelligent," and she just loved it. But she's also similar to me and very awake, if I can say. So she thinks you're just a genius. My God, are you serious? It is Amun. I used to say Amun. I don't know where I got that from. I just used to tell the kids, let's say Amun. I don't know why, but okay. I'm reading.
So I guess what I'm saying is, in regards to that, is that when you think about, like they'll say, okay, is the Earth a spinning ball globe? That's what probably 98% of the people, world population, believes, because that's what we were taught. And they say they have pictures and all this, but every picture is photoshopped or edited. That's why they were able to do this today, is because computers and green screens and all this, they couldn't do that before. That's why every culture throughout the millennia has always known our Earth is more of a flat plane. Planets are just stars that are on speckles. That's why I said if you start to research the Flat Earth Society, there's a lot of stuff that has merit. I'm not saying all of it's good. That's why I don't call myself a flat earther, just like I don't call myself a vegan. I don't want to put myself in a box where I'm just like every judgmental vegan, or if I was a Christian, that I'm like every Christian who judges and condemns. Of course, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe anything in the Bible is literal or true. But for example, just as an example, people have proven that the planets are not real, in the sense that they're just drawings that were given, we were taught, and it's in a book, and it's nice in computer. It's always CGI. And you know what CGI is, right? It's computer-generated imagery. Computer-generated imagery can take things from nature, make it look real, kind of like the sun, and then they can edit it in a way that makes it kind of like a Hollywood movie. They've been programming us for our whole life. The more high-quality computers get, they can Photoshop like the sun. And these pictures that we've never seen, they're high resolution, as they say it. But we've never seen the sun look like that, because it's their edited artistic interpretation of it. And that's what NASA artists are. They even call NASA artists, or NASA photographers, NASA artists. Why? They've got on camera, if you watch a couple of the documentaries, they even said they had to change the globe to look a particular way. And so they added clouds, and they moved it around the shape. The guy who did the art for the original NASA globe model even admitted that he completely edited it. He did an edit on it with Photoshop, literally. They've proven that. So what are planets? It's really basic. When you take a camera, now we have Nikon 950. You can get a Nikon 950, you could zoom in on a planet, and as you zoom in, it's high quality. So as you zoom into, say, Saturn or Neptune or something like that, you can see the closer you get to it, it's like a sparkling light. It's just a glimmering light flicker. I could show you videos of this. It's absolutely not something that's solid or something that you could land on. We cannot go to the outer space. So it's all an illusion, like a lie, a fairy tale. They're telling us about outer space and the Milky Way and these galaxies. These are all literally photoshopped by NASA. You get all these paintings and pictures from NASA, nowhere else. They don't have raw photos of Earth. They don't have raw photos of these other planets, not a single one. You can go look them up and send me a picture of, like, say, I don't know, Uranus or something. But don't send me Uranus. Send me Uranus. I'm just playing shit, though. Send me a picture of Uranus, the planet, and I will tell you if that's photoshopped, if it's computer-generated CGI. And I'm telling you, if I could find one raw photo of Earth from the moon or whatever, then I wouldn't deny the Earth is a spinning ball globe. I actually researched this for about 7 years now, hard. There's no evidence that proves we're on a spinning ball globe. There's no evidence to prove anything that the maps they show us is correct. fact, I know otherwise. If you research Admiral Byrd, nobody explored more than that one man on this planet. He explored and created the maps we use today, and he even said that when you go past the Antarctic Circle, that there's more land as you keep going. Why would he say that? He's implying that there's more land, more terrain that's not shown on that globe. Because, see, the globe puts us in a fixed cage, like a circular cage, like this is it. But a flat Earth that keeps going, it just keeps going. There's more to be explored. That's the flat Earth model. I actually believe that we're in a concave Earth. It's not that I believe it, I know, because I know our reality and how it actually works. But again, it's going to be completely contrary, opposite of what we're taught. Completely. Everything is completely opposite. This is why, if you wanted to call me a shaman, those are your words, see? That's what I'm saying. I'm something beyond that. I'm even beyond the word God. That's why I say I'm beyond God. So what abilities would God have? Well, if I know that I can manifest things into my reality, because this matrix is not as real as you want to overanalyze it to be. If you knew that you're controlling this through the light above, and you really understood that, it went deep within yourself, you find going inner into your heart is the thing that controls this whole matrix. So the more inner you actually go, and I'm not just saying that, I mean it, literally feel it, experience it, become thoughtless, go deep into your inner subconscious. You will then, from my own experience, I'm telling you this from my experience, reality is way different than when I was an Archon. Yes, I was an Archon for 30 years, believing Jesus died for his sins, the Bible is true, all that. And I know the symbolism. Jesus on the cross, it's the sun that dies for 3 days and then it rises again. But in their religious esoteric meaning, it also is your Christ consciousness, the Christos, the oil that's produced in your brain that creates the DMT from your spine. It goes down to 33rd vertebrae of your spine, and it goes back up, and it fills between the pituitary and the pineal gland. It releases this chemical known as DMT. It's the milk and honey in the kingdom of heaven. I can go really deep on these esoteric meanings that have been transcribed into biblical context, and it is what the real true meaning of these stories are. They're actually about you and astrotheology. So the things they worship, such as Saturn, the moon, the sun, these things that we see in our matrix, has always been what every belief system's talking about when they're referring to God. What I know is it's like a body part. The sun is like your heart. Okay, the pineal gland's more of your pineal gland, your third eye. So there are things physically in this matrix that are actually macrocosms of you and your body in every single way. You know, that the physical that we're residing in. That's why they say, you know, if you harm Mother Earth, you're harming yourself. Yes, because that is the black sun, Mother Gaia. That is you. You're standing on your higher self. So if you decide to destroy your higher self, it's kind of like cutting yourself off from your own self, your higher self. So you're pretty much kind of saying you don't want to be a living soul. You cut yourself off, disconnect from your higher self. You no longer have any powers given to you. You're going to be, it's like committing suicide, spiritual suicide. So you turn yourself off and you became a shadow reflection, which is not real. That's why I said I don't even think Archons are even real. They're not living souls. All I know in my reality, in my brain, is that I'm the main character. I'm the living soul in this matrix. And that may be the same for you. I am not Chantel. You're Chantel. What you walk through are the black holes you walk through, and that's your experience. It's the most important thing. Don't ever think it's not, and don't ever give that away to think, oh, but someone else matters a lot. Well, then you're saying the Archons, which you created, matter more than yourself. No, they don't. You matter. You're number one. If you love yourself, you actually are going to love those Archons. And that's where it gets really interesting, because you could say, Eric, it sounds like you hate Archons. On the contrary, I love each and every single person, animal, creature, everything, and especially Archons. Why? Because they are me. I created them. So the more I love them, it creates the inversion where they're going to hate me. But at the same time, I control them. I am God in this matrix after all. That's why when I went to work, I was able to literally hex people who thought they could try to stomp all over me, try to harm me, and cause suffering. I had haters, naysayers, and envious people who wanted to betray me. I could see right through them, and my soul subconsciously would connect with them, and they knew not to fuck with me. I would literally, they would do it almost like it was part of my story that was supposed to happen, to show me my powers that I truly have. Because I'm telling you, I could tell you stories about some shit, literally, that I have done, that I have created in this manifested reality, 2 archons, and it happened. Like, I mean, car accidents, literally people dying, okay? Or omens, like a cat dying from this one girl, and she said she knew, because I said, let's create a glitch in the matrix. Her cat bit her mother, gave her rabies, and the cat died right then and there. And she said, I don't ever want to talk to you again. And she was being offensive to me. She was trying to call me out, say I was fake, that I don't know this magic and all that. And I'm like, you can call it what you will. Again, I don't put a label on something archons created. So you can't call me a shaman or a magician or a mage. I am the number one almighty creator of this universe, that it's in my reality. Because all these, you gotta get back to, Chantel, all these things are words and labels that they created. So that's why I say for myself, don't put me in a box for what they are. Can I do prophecy, healing with my hands? Can I do magical spells, hexes, curses? Can I create realities that I manifested? Yes, I can. I know you could call it magic. I know magic is actually magnetism from this black sun. I know a lot because I've gone deep into my heart. I've water fasted. I've released that DMT, which is the spirit God gland. It's the third eye. I see all things when that eye is open. You don't need these 2 physical eyes. See, that's the problem. You're blinded by your 2 physical eyes. Open the third eye, and you will see all things not seen in the physical conscious matrix. This is why people, you're hearing me consciously tell you now, and that could cause you to freak out, or that could cause you to be like, he's full of shit. It doesn't really matter what you think. And just like archons, it doesn't matter what they think of me. A lot of them know and see my power subconsciously. Everyone knows who I am. You see, just like everyone knows who you are when you walk in the room. They know where you're at spiritually too. And as you evolve, you realize you're a black sun baby. That's the key. You are a goddess of the black sun. And so if you are a black sun baby, that's what we all start out as. Now you're a living soul. Welcome to the family of yourself. It's a realization, looking in the mirror, finding God, and saying, God is me. And you walking into that mirror. And what that does is that also allows you to overcome all your shadow reflections. Everything that's an inversion of what you don't want this world to be, it manifests out there into the matrix. That's created by the sun. It's making this whole illusion come together. It's been proven the sun vibrates at certain frequencies that actually your heart and your brain resonate at. It's called the Schumann resonance. It should be at 10.7 or 8.7, I think it is. And our Schumann resonance is way high. What does that mean? That's like comparable to say that the planet is crying out. And this is why when I'm connected, I say, everyone needs to stop harming my animals, my land, and therefore our children for corrupting their minds the way that we do. Shame on you. You will have hexes, curses, and plagues placed upon you. I said this a year ago. There will be a virus that will manifest first and foremost where the evil is taking place in Asia. I pity shamefully those who live the way they do in Asia, the way they control and enslave everything, including nature. I said I want a virus to manifest there. I said this virus will spread through Russia, through Europe, and all around the world. Now, whether there is a real virus or not, because I don't believe there's a virus. You see that? You see, our perception of what a virus is again, what's been told to us by archons on the news or the media, right? So you gotta step back and just make it really simplified. The hell with that word virus. The hell with corona. All of it. What did Eric plot? What did I do? a year ago, I commanded that if people did not change their ways, in fact, I said, give me $12 billion to correct all the different problems in this world. If you don't, and you continue to harm my land, animals, and our children, that there would be a virus that is going to swipe out the entire world eventually. I have 3 videos of me saying this over a year ago, right when Corona came into existence, because I saw the black sun in March. That's the original. And get this, so the virus came out January, February, and March. They were talking about it prior because it was all set up. Most of it is set up. It doesn't matter how it is set up. When you're the one who controls the matrix, you have to leave that physical, conscious world out. That reasoning and logic of, oh, well, they're saying people are dying, and this is why they're dying. Nothing in the conscious matrix of their logic, reasoning, measuring, numbers, their values, their language, their words, it doesn't add up to anything that actually is reality. Why is that? See, so let me say it again. Everything that's conscious, like everything is materialized. I don't care if it's their science, their religion, their dogma, their belief system, their NASA, their outer space, the planets, the whatever it is. There's an aspect where some of the science they have is correct. There's no doubt. They can create it because we're many gods after all. We can create technology off of what our subconscious guides us to unveil. Again, the subconscious is where every idea came from, the creator. When you're creating, you're one with God to begin with, which is your higher self. Yes, you are the one creating all this. So you have to go back to that. And it's a lot to really compensate for, like actually grasp and understanding. That's what I call it, understanding, because it's something I can't write down in a book or logically measure out in values, words, labels. I could, like I'm doing now, I'm having a hard time. I'm expressing it. Why am I having a hard time? Because words can't express what I know to be true. The reality is I've lived this out. I can manifest things. You could then say, when people see that it works, or they hear my prophecies or what I said happen, then they think it's a miracle. But we all have this power. That's what I'm trying to get at. You don't have to go anywhere else other than your heart. That's what I'm getting at. Because usually, if you're going to archons for this information, say they do know the magic like I know. They know how to use telepathy, prophecy, they're grounded. Then they know they're grounded. Now, I could use this information against people, but see, my higher self would then not allow me to have these magical abilities. So you have some people who are like tarot card readers. They may know enough of the magic to fool you off one and get money, and that's Luna. So the powers or frequencies of Luna and Saturn are parasitic energies. They will always ask you for money in return, or power, maybe sex. That's Saturn. Saturn's 69, he's sex. He's the most high. I could right now tell some women that I'll heal their body if I do Reiki healing. And I know not to get sexual, but methods spiritually, if you know what I mean, to entice that whole happening, that manifestation, where it can be, and that's Saturn. That's that energy called Saturn. It's what sparks the light, right? And it's a beautiful thing. And I didn't have this ability before when I was more of a Christian man trying to be all innocent and believing that it was good to be a gentleman, all this. I now know the real raw animalistic qualities we actually all have within ourselves. The true intent of being God. The more I analyze it and go deeper in the inner standing, the more I discover I learned so much that there's no way you could even express what I know into words or a book. That's what I mean. I know so much more than what I can tell you. And that sounds crazy. But what I know is what I feel and what I visualize. And what I know to be true is reality for my matrix. And if you can understand what I'm saying and overstand the words and actually feel them and actually connect with what I'm telling you. And if I could just tell you this, like this, we could just cut it all, it's short by saying absolutely everything. What if I were to tell you absolutely everything that you wish to happen or be creatively? Like, let's say we're like kids and we're pretending. Okay, here's Chantel. I'm giving you this magical orb. I'm throwing it to you. I'm throwing it in your lap. You grab that magical orb, and it's invisible, and it's like a little black orb, maybe like a black sun orb, right? And you've got it now. I'm giving it to you. Anything and everything that you could hope for, that you could have faith in, that everything that you could believe in, just anything. You believe that your day right now is going to be incredible, like a little kid, like just a joyous, fun day. And you probably already have that. You don't need me to tell you that. Like you're like, no, I have a good life. I have a good day. Okay, all right. Just know everything that you could want to happen. When you stop thinking, you let go of the thoughts, and you just want and desire luck, protection, joy, peace, happiness, feeling good, feeling sexy, radiant, healthy, energized, all that. Visualize what each and every one of those things looks like. Even if it's an overly exuberant version of Chantel, looking at yourself in a mirror, looking out, there you are, so happy, so energized, so lucky. Every move you make is just right on par. May seem contrary to how you feel your reality currently is. But what if I were to tell you that's because your thoughts that we've been programmed to believe in are our only obstacle in this matrix? It's our only challenge. If we let go of all that shit, fear, number one, guilt, shame, regret that we didn't do something when, we were younger, or we didn't do something growing up, or we should have been this or that, or we should have went to college, or we should have went and done this, married that person, got with this person, blah, 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 blah. Your reality is what your higher self already created. That's all I know, no matter what. Again, I can say that for my reality. I'm a main character. I'm a living soul. Number one, I'm 1 through 9. That's the sun and everything in the light. I know I'm a playable character. These non-playable characters are not me. I'm not these archons that call themselves vegans, Christians, shamans, witches, wizards. I am even beyond the greatest word that they have called God. I am beyond God, because I'm the one that's not only creating all this, my higher self is creating all of it, narrating it before it happens. So yes, you can say, Eric, well, what makes you that special? Well, I don't know what to tell you. We are all black sun babies. That's what makes us that special. Just because you don't believe you are, well, so be it. Then you don't become who you are supposed to be. Like I said, remember the little black orb? You're like a little kid playing pretend. All right, here it is, Chantel. What do you want to see? What do you visualize? Feel that. Feel it so strong. Feel it so hard within your bones. Let go of your bones. Let go of all this physical. Feel it. Allow it in. You may hear your ears ringing right now. That power. Connect with it. Listen to it. That's that Schumann resonance. That's that real energy, magnetism. Connect with it. Connect with it. Connect with it. Let it in. Every time you breathe, you're breathing in that ether. That's that power. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. You're breathing in that black orb power. It's getting stronger each time you breathe out. Breathe in. May all sound crazy, goofy, maybe zany and silly. That's even better. That makes it even happen more better. Why? Because you're not being stuck in your conscious thoughts. See, the curse of this matrix you will find, no matter what, is your conscious materialized thoughts telling you can't do this, or physics says you can't do that, or this thing here is not possible, which we may be held for this moment physically down into this matrix construct. And time, it's the same thing. There is a time that this moment will happen or that thing will happen. Your mother or father supposedly die. But the more you think about it, then that's what makes it happen. You create the illusion of time. Everything out here in this matrix is like a holographic illusion. But the more you start to analyze it and say, oh, it's this time. Oh, I got to go to that time, this calendar. Oh, that's a shaman. This is a vegan. The more you analyze, organize every damn thing, the more you're cutting yourself off from your own nature. Like, that's why I said the most important thing you can possibly do is be thoughtless and visualize everything you want. When you felt that, when you allowed that energy in, the ether, that black sun ball, that orb you got, no, that orb's real in your hands. You consciously, physically may say, there's no ball in my hand there, but I'm looking down at you, and yeah, it is there. Know it. It's the next step, knowing that what you visualize, what you feel, is real. And know that it's going to be around the corner. Like I said, I'm showing you. And test it. Don't just take my word for it. Don't go to some shaman. Don't go to some prophet. Don't go to some tarot card reader, or what have you. I want you to look within yourself. Become thoughtless. Make your special ability. Make your power come out. What do you want? Do you want to see what's going to happen? Then let it go. Visualize as if you're writing what's about to happen. What do you want to happen? Tell me, how do you want this to end? All of this to end. How do you want things to be right now? How do you want things to be right this moment? And there's some little tricks here. There's one thing. There are a couple things you can't do because they were meant to be. And two of those things are, you can't make someone fall in love with you, right? You can't make someone fall in love with you. These are archons. You will bring in the right person for you, but you can't say, oh, look at that person. I want them to love me. There's a lot of things you can do in this matrix to manipulate things, but that is not one of them. Not that way, at least. You'll bring in the right person, and you'll know it. You'll feel it, especially when you're connected. When you've evolved to this black sun baby, you realize you have these powers. You'll then evolve to another level where you're the black sun god, 91. That 91 or 19, it's the same thing backwards and forwards. It's all life. You're the black sun god. When you walk into that fear, all the bad emotions, all the crap, you walk right into it. Take it, absorb it. All the negative, all the bad, the virus, all of it. I want you to just jump into all that, everything you're scared of. Spiders, darkness, being unclean or being dirty. Just jump right into it. Get right into it. Do it, right? It was scary for me at first. I had all this fear overcoming me when I was in a dream state. And I got outer body experience, and I felt like there was these knives stabbing me. It was scary. I'm not going to lie. And at first I failed. But then I said, I want to come back to that. I want to go deeper. I went deep into the pits of my gut, and I overcame, and I had courage. I had balls to stand up for everything. Today I'm not scared of a damn thing. So when you break that curse, the hinges, the hex, the curse, the spell and plague of fear, and I mean completely, you will only evolve from that point. And that's when I say you are a black sun god, is when you walk into all your shadow reflections, fear, emotion, guilt, shame, regret. Walk right into it, that big black ball, that void of all that is what you think is evil or bad. Then you become one with it and realize it's not bad at all. There is no evil. There is no bad. No, there is no virus. There is no sickness. Smart be it. So be it. So it is. It is. This is it. So be it. You have written it in your heart, your soul, a blood over intent, if you will, that life blood. You've given your blood by vibrating it into existence. Your throat chakra is speaking it. But what is speaking, if anything you speak, like I'm speaking to you now, it comes not from just the brain, but it first comes from the heart. The heart is where all life vibrates from. The heart is where the home is. It's where we're going back. It's the home. Heart is where the home is. Ascend, be a living soul. Become the black sun god. And when you become the black sun god, 931, you can evolve to become a black sun king, or queen in this case, 012. That's the ultimate final form within your on so far mind, body, and soul. So pretty much that's something in the background. I'm working on the Moringa Princess. So that's what I would say. There's all these different words that can be a good thing too, like princess, goddess, queen, right? I mean, those are like some of the basic ones in English that are known. For a female, the divine feminine, beauty, diva, right? Anything that adds a S at the end, SS, like goddess, goddess, two, add the two to it. Actually 11, just add an 11 to it, right? Moons, goddess, right? Pluralize it. Chica, not man, but woman. And you look at that 6 and 5, which is 11. See that? Woe, W-O, is 6 and 5, which is 11. So that's the 1 and the 1, right? 2. So everything that's 11 or 2 is known as justice or balance, right? The other, woman. So with your daughter, granddaughter, all one, Chantel, all divine goddesses, a 1 in 1 that you are. In that realization that you all are amazing princesses and goddess, that's your real reality perception of yourself. It's not even perception. It's only a perception if you tell it to someone else and you don't know it. Perceptions, filters, sensors, it can be, it's an illusion, right? That's what perception, when someone says, oh, Eric, you perceive the world this way. No. I realize and know the world this way. It's my experience. If someone tells me something from a book, a guru, or a preacher, a priest, a teacher, a professor, I don't care even if they are saying true information. It's still a perception that I'm receiving. Like with Kevin Wesley, I'll admit, this man helped wake me up out of Christianity. He helped me wake up out of my own archonic behavior, right? So that's interesting. So I created an archon to help me wake up out of the matrix. Well, that's a part of my reality, isn't it? Anything divine, you teach yourself from a higher source, which is your highest self. So let's go take this reality perception. This is a perception because I'm saying imagine for a moment. You, me, your daughter, your granddaughter, right? We all living in the jungle, living off the land, thriving, right? What would we need? And would you not say that if we all were living together, we could be apart one moment, you could be over there, I could live over in the mountains for a week in a tree house or some sort of a caddy shack or palapis or cabana, or I could just simply be in a hammock and just sitting there swaying on my hammock with not a worry, not a care, no obligation in the world, right? Just letting go. How beautiful is that? Do you see any problems there? What problems are there? Only but those that you create. And in Saturn's cube, or the matrix, the box, the Luna Marie's illusion, we have money as an obstacle. We have time as an obstacle to illusion. Our challenge is, will we make it in time? Or will we get too old by the time we get there? Right? And that is the illusion of the time construct of aging. Well, Eric, you do age, your body gets older. Yes, but that's a natural occurrence. It progressively happens and evolves. You're not attached to your physical body like the whole Matrix would like you to believe. It wants you to believe that's all that matters, right? No. I recently cut my hair off in a quarantine haircut. Not because the virus, so I cut my hair off. No. I did that because I wanted to let go. On June 1st, it went from 13 and then 12 and then back to 12 just the other day. Now we're on 14 day, which is 5, or 15 day, which is 6. So we're on Saturn's day, I believe. Yeah, it's Saturn's day, Saturn, or July 4th. So it happens to be on Saturn's day. And that's where Saturday came from, by the way, Saturn's day, the 6th day away. And the sun is actually the first day, technically. Notice that the moon day, therefore, would be 2, because Luna Marie is 2. So they do have the calendar values screwed up or backwards, what have you. Technically, Monday is not the first day of the week, but of course they pushed it and say on the work day schedule, slave day schedule, Monday, moon day is the 1 day, the first day of the week, right? But no, it's actually Sunday. And technically, I believe there's actually 8 days in a week, but that's a whole other thing, and there's 13 months. But truly, it doesn't matter. Time is a illusionary construct, right? And it can stress you out. It can cause problems because you need to pay your bills on this certain date, right? Imagine we lived in the jungle, lived off the land, we grew our own food, eventually in paradise, retirement even. People forget what year they're in, what date it is. What is it today? What month are we living, right? And why is that? Literally because you have no stressors of an illusionary time construct. A lot of times I don't even pay attention. If it weren't for the archons make such a loud noise about 4th of July, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, it's Christmas. Plus, we've been programmed in the Matrix due to the astrology of these lights in the sky, these stars. And they're reflections of those stars. That's why they're archons. We're living and playing out the storybook of those stars in the black ball above in the skies. We are living soul, spirit speckles in this physical world, playing out this story, our movie. It's a game. We're in a projection holographic simulation matrix. Truly, we are. I'm not making this shit up. There's no other way to look at it. Actually, Tesla knew this. They know it. The Archons, the high-level Decepticons, they absolutely know the reality. We truly live. This is why they've enslaved us in a box cube called time, Luna's money, or Luna Marie. Marie is mother. Mother Eve, evil or equal, one in the one. So Marie Eve is money. Money is Marie. Marie Eve, money. It's the one eye, my one eye. I can break down the M-O-N-E, M-1 I, E-Y-E, my one eye. Because you trade out your one eye, your soul, third eye, for money, or moon bucks, Marie's money. So money is a construct for women. This is why women, they can't really fully they can't comprehend. I've never talked to a true woman who can comprehend the ideology of this reality without money, because it makes so much sense to them. The way women are wired, the divine feminine believe there needs to be a value, an illusion of this or that, or tick for tack. And that's why they're the two. The bull, the horns is the illusion of money, money, because you can buy with money. This is how they know whether you're a good Adam or living soul. A man will have a lot of money and get Marie Eve, Isabella, Belle. So Satan is always one with Eve and Satan fool Adam, the living soul. And I've broke down this whole story before. The apple is symbolic of, yes, sex, but also knowledge, this wisdom that Lilith, the black sun, was trying to tell Adam. Lilith, the serpent, is both singularity and the creator. So when Adam figures out, then he eats the apple. That's then his third eye opens. He realizes that he's naked and that all this is happening. So pretty much that story is talking about Eve fooling Adam into believing that Yahweh or Saturn is God and that you have to go to work. For Eve, right? Put your clothes on. So Eve tells Adam what to do. She controls Adam, or the man, which is all the atom, the gene, the actual molecule that makes a man a man. So there's that aspect of it, the reality. So Eve fooled Adam out of where? The Garden of Eden, the jungle. Everywhere there's green, the bioplasma, that is the emerald queen, Aurora Borealis, which means aura of this planet, Aurora Borealis, Bored Alice. That's what the story of Wonderland's about. Alice in Wonderland. Alice, the word means truth. Alice means truth. Alice Borealis, bored Alice. Why is Alice bored? She's bored with the conscious matrix, so she falls into the hole, the rabbit hole. She follows a rabbit. She hits her head, falls down the rabbit hole, right? She enters the subconscious wonderland, which is actually created from the things she said in the conscious. If you read the poem she starts singing, or she has a song she made about rabbits and all this other stuff, she consciously wrote this song, sang it, and then she had a dream. She dreamed about it after she hit her head, or that's what she recalls, hitting her head and going down the rabbit hole of Wonderland. So she creates this Wonderland, and what's the moral of the story? She overcomes her fears down the rabbit hole. Everything that she doesn't want to be and everything she doesn't want to happen happens. Not only in her conscious world, her parents are trying to make her marry a prince that she doesn't love, she doesn't even know. They're forcing it, and she doesn't like that. So she goes into Wonderland and overcomes her fears, realizes that she controls her shadow reflections in this conscious world. And she figures that out through her subconscious. So when she returns out of Wonderland, she's able to change her conscious reality because of what her dream or subconscious Wonderland taught her, right? So it's the same thing. Every story is known as the greatest story ever told. This Eden, all these stories we hear, all these motifs, all these fairy tales, they're more real than you can ever imagine. Okay? So, Garden of Eden, go back to Lilith. Adam's first love was Lilith, which is the first woman. Then Eve came next. That's why Eve is number 2 woman. Right? Lilith loves unconditionally with no obligation or requirement. She wanted singularity and equality. This is why they try to say she's a feminist and she hates men and she wanted to be on top, riding Adam with sex. She wanted to be on top. She wanted to be number 1. But the reality is she's one with Adam, or the man and soul. So they're one. It's not some weird evil thing. They try to make Lilith like this evil vampiric succubus that has sex with men, lonely men in their sleep, and wants to kill every firstborn baby or some crap like that. But the reality is Lilith actually wants to protect women from rape and molestation and Saturnalic type men, because Saturn is actually the split between her. She's the divine feminine of the black sun, and her split into the masculine side is Saturn. Saturn and black sun are actually one, split into two when you say masculine and feminine, but it's actually one. You see, black sun is androgynous, both male and female. So I can go way deeper into that, but what I'm going to move on to is saying Lilith is also known as Sophia in the Gnostic Bible. It's also known as Ishtar. She is the goddess of fertility. She's also the goddess of the void. She's the big black hole in the skies above, which is actually the inner earth. It's where all life came from, right? It's putting this whole thing into reality. It is a lot to grasp, and I've had to really go my inner self to figure out all of this, literally. There's very few books out there, like Gnosis Book of Resurrection or The Secret Doctrine. Very few things. There's Kabbalists and Jesuits, and there's even what people call Illuminati. I've learned, and this is how I got my Facebook and everything taken down. I was banned for 11 years of work, 800 videos taken out, was I began to speak about not only the Black Sun and did a documentary on it, that was offensive, but the Order of the Black Sun occult, which is what people out here call Illuminati. They're a German Jewish group of people who write what is for the world, the Matrix. So it's the closest ideology we have in a physical person that are like gods, fooling a bunch of gods. And we are like gods with amnesia, who've forgotten who we are, and hopefully going back to who we truly are supposed to be. So that's what I'm trying to help you here. It's the only solution. If you know this matrix is the problem, if everything is wrong, it's your daughter is not bad or a bad apple, a bad egg, or she's not got bad issue or problem. Not at all. Right? Not a behavior problem. She's exercising or practicing bad habits, because there are no such things out in nature. So if the problem is actually the matrix, and she's naturally a living soul and real and pure, all that is divine, she's not wrong. The matrix is wrong, and that is creating the tension. Let go of the tension. By letting go of fear, the tension will flee. So if you did go out into the jungle, lived off the land, had no obligation, no requirement, now you don't have to worry about time. Your daughter doesn't stress. You don't stress about getting money, having to go to work. You put a seed in the ground, it grows a plant. Say we're talking about corn and coconuts and soursop and moringa, and you grew this. You'd have all the time in the day to spend with your daughter or whoever. I've had people tell me, Eric, but I love to work. Really? Oh, are you that selfish? Think about it. You're so selfish. You want to go to work for your family, right? To have a house for your kids, your car and gas and food on the table. Okay, I see what you're saying. You want to go to work. But you don't spend any time with your kids. You're always at work. You're never at home. That you pay all this money for, this big house, and have no time with the true loves of your life, the divine goddesses or God of your life. Your daughter, your wife, your kids, you claim you love, and so you go to work to get money so you can be a breadwinner, put food on the table, so you can buy them all the clothes and material junk that they don't need, and live in a world of mindless self-indulgence and vanity beyond fair. Right? But you need all those things, right? But I know there's villagers and people who don't need even clothes or shoes. I don't need shoes. I walk around barefoot. I love it. I went the opposite direction. I had everything in the world, all the material things. I had expensive cars. I drove Cadillac, Mini Cooper. I've had that in my life. living with the love of my life somewhere else where I felt that I was entitled because I had those things, but I said I loved her or this or that or my family, but I was so selfish because I was going to work, wanting to get that stuff, and instead, if you love your daughter, if you love your family, you know there's a problem with the Matrix, you know they're telling you lies, it's a virus, you become the virus stuck in the Matrix. They make you out to be the terrorist. They say you're evil, you're wrong, there's something wrong with you. You need to go to see a psychologist, you need to see a doctor, there's something wrong, you need to get on prescription drugs, this or that and the other. You eat fast food because it's all you can afford, you become overweight, all the junk food, you got to actually get a certain brand called organic to even barely make ends meet or get by, or get some sort of thing called organic water, which what does the word organic even mean? Shouldn't exist. All water should be pure. Everything's been polluted to a certain degree, and that's an illusion too. Keep this in mind. Chemtrails. If you start to be scared of that, you're going to create that reality. If you're scared of poison in the water, you're going to create that reality. There's an aspect of reality, truth to that. But if you live in their matrix and you're living with their crappy food, polluted waters, toxic air, polluted soil, there's no B12, there's no life, worms are dying, what they're trying to do is take away all life in the matrix, including you and including your daughter, and that is why your daughter is freaking out. So if they are a threat to your daughter or granddaughter, what do? It's a simple solution. You leave the problem. 1228, that's the 1 and the 3, or 13, which is 4, and we're on the 4th of July. So happy 4th of July. I hope you're doing well. And see, why did I have to say that? Well, time is something significant to us people, right? As living souls. And more important, to the archons we created in this matrix, right? So I ended with the tension of this matrix, this material conscious world, that tension that has been derived in the conscious, split from the subconscious, or you could say the unconscious, heaven, the blissful serenity, they call it Agartha, Shambhala, Shamayim, heaven, the afterlife, the darkness, Shiloh, the Hebrews called it Shiloh, which is a dark place righteous and unrighteous people go. So it's kind of like hell, but it's heaven. See, it's only considered hell because the archons consider this world heaven. This is actually hell. See, the archons have everything backwards. So if this is their world, this is their kingdom, this is hell, as they want it perfectly designed with time and money and these illusions, right? And that's what masonry is, showing you the duality between black and white, good and bad, holy and evil, right? Righteous and unrighteous. So they have actually written out in words these labels that depict what your reality is or isn't, or shouldn't be, or should be, right? But it's your reality, and no one can quite describe it in words. It's your expression of your reality, right? It's an expression of your reality. So an expression of your reality, this matrix, is what's causing the quote-unquote behaviors of a rowdy young girl, your daughter or son or whomever, that energy, that's your offspring, right, is creating the actions of being upset, angry, distraught, sad, happy one moment. You could say this is bipolar behavior. What's one moment they're sitting there calm, playing their video game, reading a book, playing outside at the jungle gym or in nature, swimming in the swimming pool, happy as can be, blissful as all get out, right? And then when they don't get their way, or if you don't get your way, because they're part of you, right? So look at it like that. Always take it back to Why would you be angry? Put yourself in their shoes. Why are they sad? Why are you sad? Why are you happy? Why are they happy? So that's pretty basic. That makes sense, right? That if they are upset and they're a pure soul, you know it, you're part of them, then there's something wrong, right? There's something not right with where they're at that very moment in time, that moment. Time is an illusion, and she is rowdy and upset because she has to deal with that there's this illusion called time and money, which is an energy that promotes this illusion we can call power. And so that power we can call the matrix. And that matrix is like mom's tricks. It's literally mom's tricks. Mother Earth tricks. Mom's tricks. Matrix. Matter. That's what matter is. So what matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? The matrix. What's the matrix? What's the mother? Mother. Mom's tricks. Matter. Material. So anything that materializes in this matrix, it's actually an illusion, and it's measured by time, because that one moment in my life was the time of my life, or when I was 13 years old, this happened to me. See, we can measure these moments, these material things, these illusions by time. But does it matter? No, because time is an illusion. Right now, this moment is what is real. When you live in the now, then you won. If you notice, now backwards is one. To win something, what is to win something? It's interesting, one, like I won the award, sounds like one. You're number one because you won. You're the winner. You live now. If you win now, you won. You're number one now. 1-1. And so your energy, when you realize you go back to that, you're number one, then you'll know why she is upset, she's sad, or she's happy. Go back and let go of all the material, let go of all the thoughts, the conscious things. These labels, titles, words, money, time, constructs, illusions, right? They're illusions, ions. You're living in an ill world, illusion, matrix. It's hell. So the subconscious, what we don't see, the invisible world, darkness, nothingness, heaven, Shambhala, Agartha, your subconscious, actually rules this world. It's the big dragon that was split into two. The sun and the moon is what we see as a result that materializes this illusion created by that dragon in the center. The black sun and Saturn, which is the sacred masculine of the black sun, which is death and nothingness, and then everything that just is in the moment. That's why Kronos, or Saturn, has thousands of names, and it was known as Father Time. Saturn is also Saturnalia, or Satan. Why is that? Or set. When you set your clock, set, Saturn, Satan, ha-Satan in Hebrew. What does that mean? It means adversary. Why is Satan, or Set, or Saturnalia, or Saturn, why is that the adversary? What's adversary? It means challenge or obstacle, enemy, right? So why is Saturn the adversary? This is why they always draw Satan as this little demon or imp, right? Satan. Scary. He's dark and gruesome. You don't want to mess with Satan. He's going to fuck your whole life up, curse you, hex you. He's going to put plagues on your life. And we often do fixate this Saturn character, or Satan, as a male figure. He's got a genitalia, and he wants to have sex. When you think of rape or molestation or downright dirty, wild sex, whatever, it's Saturn or Satan that's going to do it. The goat man. That's why it's part goat and part man, right? It's all of the animal instincts within yourself. 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. Electron, proton, electron is what makes up everything in this matrix, right? What's light, what's not light, and what's before coming light. There's 3 aspects. That's the Trinity. The dielectric, magnetism, and then electric is the result. Just like I said, male, mother, father, and son or daughter. It's a living soul. It's created. So, why is Saturn the enemy or adversary? Because Saturn actually is the depiction, the measurement of time from your birth to old age. See, we often, that's the literal depiction of everything that we are. From, okay, I was born on September 20th, 1988. That was when I was born. Into the existence, I consciously began thinking. It took me 3 years to realize I was thinking. Because, like you said, when you're young, you're pure, and you have no consciousness. You normally obtain consciousness around the age of 2 or 3. I don't know, maybe some people can remember before that. I've heard people say that. I don't know if I really believe it, considering most likely they're archons. For me, I remember the first thing what was it? I remember speaking and said something about, Mom, don't worry, I'm here for you. She was crying on her bed, and the very first thing I said to my mother in English, as plain clear as you could possibly be. She tells me this story all the time, that I came to her when she was crying, and I guess my dad had did something to hurt her, and I felt she was abused in some way. My heart and soul reached out to my divine feminine mother, creator, and I told her, don't worry, mother, everything will be all right. I'm your guardian angel. Which is crazy now to think about it, because I am the living soul of my mother. I'm the creation of her. I'm the reflection of that moon. And Saturn's time. So it's like the male fertilizer, the sperm, fertilizes the black hole. Okay? And over time, it causes the seed to germinate. So it gives just the right amount of nutrients or things, life it needs, vibration, to knock that seed into existence, right? Like a big bang effect. And out of that, you germinate into reality. It takes 9 months, because that's 9, it's completion. So even if the numbers are illusion, our time is messed up, or the calendars, months, time, it still does have an aspect of reality to it. No matter how the sun lags or the glitch of this reality, 9 months is when a normal woman has a baby, right? And it has trimesters, it has these different, things, cycles. Even with the moon, they've always known women have a cycle with the moon. So there's 4 cycles in the moon, and that's the menstrual cycle. This is how women will know when they're going to have a PMS or post menstrual cycle. Pretty fascinating when you think about how women are literally, you all, the divine feminine, are a reflection, a ground of this nature. The sun brings to life light, so you can capture that moment. The full moon on this, it's a reflection of the sun on the side of the dome that we are living in. In the center of that dome is a darkness, nothingness, and it is bringing this light into existence. So Saturn is time. So as you age, that's why you get wiser, you may become more knowledgeable, you may become smarter. As you evolve, you mature. Hopefully you're maturing spiritually, such as what I like to do. Or I could sit and go back to Harvard and learn more education from the archons, more illusions on the TV screen. I could buy into the matrix illusion, and then I can gain what? Money. In time, I could gain a lot of wealth. An illusion that's believed that will make me happy, right? But my own happiness or bliss or heaven demeanor is in the divinity of my heart and soul. So if I go back to that heart center, it's right inside of me. I go back to this big black nothingness out there. You connect with that. It's like connecting with magnetism and attract. You connect with your soul, the sun. The goal of archons, I'll just say this, that you created in this matrix is to literally take you away from your own soul. See, you naturally, just like your daughter, granddaughter rather, is naturally attracting to the Reese's, even if it's bad for her, or you could say this pill, that drug, alcohol over here, these are bad for you. But nobody says, hey, money's bad for you. Um, you know, gambling, it's bad for you. You know, too much sex is bad for you. Have you ever heard anyone even say that? Too much sex is bad for you. If anything, sex is a great thing, right? And even sustaining from it is a great thing. Because, for example, I don't have children, and I'm not saying that I don't want children or whatever, but if I had children, my life would be very different. Let's say that right now, especially in this matrix. Now, if I'm outside of this matrix, this is where I would say this. Let me use this as an example. Let's say your granddaughter was is like this right now. What you in your reality and your daughter, your older daughter's reality is like that. Painting the picture. There she is. Bam. And what from what you just told me about how even Father Time, Saturn over here had to get involved and discipline, spank the little girl's butt to get her attention and say, hey, that's not how this matrix works. You need to straighten up. Get your act together. And you don't understand what I'm saying because it's too past your head, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to cut your creative wings off so that later the world doesn't embarrass you or doesn't let you down, or it'll eventually, this reality will come crashing down on you. And I'm trying to tell you now, stop it. Put that Reese's Pieces out of your mouth. Put it down. It's nothing to do with the fact of affording a Reese's Pieces, because we could buy that Reese's Pieces. In fact, she could have been really sneaky and just took the Reese's Pieces, stole it, put it in her pocket, and saved it and ate it for later. She doesn't want to be mischievous or steal. She's not deceptive. She's following her heart. She genuinely, that's what she wants to do. And people could say, Eric, it's not right. She's not old enough to make that decision. She's not evolved enough, matured enough. She doesn't have the money to pay for it. If her parents pay for it, that's one thing. And then on top of it, it's not even good for the little girl's health. She's going to rot her teeth out. It's too much sugar is going to cause cavities. In the material world, there are poisons that are sugar-coated, all in this matrix. So as you consume too much caramel, your teeth rot out of your head, right? These are the realities. Nothing in nature does that. In fact, if you went back, and this is going to be the correlation, your daughter with me and you and your granddaughter, let's say we all were living in the jungle. You could say Jamaica, Central America, the jungle blaze, wherever, right? Okay, let's just use this as an example. So there's that behavior I just painted out. Now, let's take her to the jungle. Let's say we all live off the land. we grow tomatoes, fruits, veggies, and nuts. Let's say we drink fresh spring water in the river stream. We harvest it with our glass jugs, or we have pots that we made ourselves out of clay and iron, or that we harvested. We took the time to make it, much like Egyptian vases, and we went to the river stream and harvested the fresh water right out of the spring. It tastes so wonderful, so delightful, just pure water, which is life, by the way, coming from that black nothingness above that just rains into existence, right? That's why that song goes, black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain, black hole sun, won't you come, and then wash away the rain. So that's what it's doing. I get into the whole science of that, the real reality of what causes rain and what washes it away. And in this sense, by her going to the jungle, you're coming with me? Hey, we're going to go do this. We just drop a seed in the ground, and the same way, that's like the female, we're going to water it. The sun above is going to cause the Big Bang effect, where this little seed germinates into existence. It does a spiral. 3, 6, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 3, 3, 6, 9, 3.16, whatever. And it just keeps going. It's 3, 6, 9, pretty much repeating. Spiral. Life, it's the Fibonacci, it's the golden ratio, the keys of life, the golden key. 3, 6, 9. It's a vibration. Anything else is a balance or off. It's dead. So 2, 4, 8 is actually dead because it's equal. It's evil. It's even. That's why there's Adam. He's the living soul, the Adam of man, and Eve. Eve is evil or equal. She's everything that's 2. The 1 and the 1 is Isis, or the moon, the crescent moon, the bull horns. 2, 4, 8. 8 is her final form, the full moon. She has 3 forms, including Saturn. Saturn is 6. Remember that? So we had 666 is who you are. It's your masculine, it's peak self. Your divine, your sacred masculine, 666. It's the command and conquer, alpha, dominant. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it downright, and I'm going to get it built. I'm going to do this. It's your flight of fight. It's the I'm going to survive. I'm not going to die. It's even a reptilian side that before someone kills you, harms you, puts you down, you're going to fight for your life, and you're going to stand up for yourself. You got the balls, the courage to stand up and defend yourself. You're going to put your fist up. You're not going to kill me. You're not going to take me down. I'm going to win this. You can't stop it, right? That's the 666 Saturnalian side. So why is that the enemy? Because the enemy is
Have a random question. What do you think makes people crazy? You know, you have people walking on the streets, they're mentally impaired, if we can use that word, and you know, talking to themselves, just not totally what we would consider, can I use the lack of better word, normal? Well, they're mentally impaired. You have people in psychiatric institutions. What do you think caused that? I think I have my my explanation, if I can say. I have an idea what I think it might be, since you know we are not like the norm, if I can say that.
It's good points you bring up, Chantal. You know, I mean, when you think about it, you already kind of know where I'm going to go with this, as far as, because I already said, you know, to me, in this bending light experience, we are all flying through, spiraling around in this big old cycle. It's a straight line, but it looks like it's bending. It looks like we're spinning. It looks like we're going around in a circle. And in a sense, that's the illusion. And within that illusion, you're telling me that there's people out here. Let's both agree with each other and say they wouldn't live up to our expectation, or rather, there's no possible way we would certainly live like they're living. Okay? Right? I think you could agree with that. We could all agree with that and say that's fair to say. That, the archon in the street who's selling drugs, prostituting this woman over here, looking all weird and gruffed up, it's not necessarily maybe the way that I would want to live, right? And actually, more and more, as I'm becoming more sane, insane, I realize that the ones that are insane are the ones who are actually living life normal. The ones we feel are living right. If you go to 8billiontrees.com, you'll see every single second an entire acre of trees, hundreds of trees, are destroyed every single second. So in 2 minutes, over 120 acres of trees, over 120 acres of trees have died, have been destroyed since I have left this voice message to you. No bullshit. Get this. 96% of the United States of America, all of, Florida, Texas, Missouri, Tennessee, where I was at, all the way to California, New York, everywhere, Oregon, Washington, 94%. Now keep this in mind, we make up, as people, 0.01% of the whole world population, right? The whole world population. Yet, we have only 4% of our forest left. Let that sink in. And so right now, at 3 minutes, over 200 acres of trees, thousands of acres of trees, thousands of trees have been destroyed since I've just left this message right here to you. So, the reason I say all that is for a reason. That the point is, as long as you don't think that is unnormal, then we can go do business as always, as usual, right? We get in our car, we fuel up our tank, we gotta charge our phone, right? This is all energy extraction. Now, what if I were to tell you, just as much as you have concrete everywhere, man's version is a infrastructure inversion of the way it should be, right? What is the way it should be? In nature, we've actually been so sterilized, and even you could say sanitized, if you will, right? To our own design, our own evolution, our own nature, right? I mean, when you really look at it, visualize that we are actually supposed to be out in nature. We weren't supposed to cut down the trees, clear out the land, start building all this stuff, building a big tree house version, like made out of wood, right? Like concrete, wood. So we're living in a nature house. We destroyed the trees to put ourselves in these nice, what we feel are nice looking buildings. He's got these buildings with different job applications and things. And they'll try to condition us to believe that that's normal, right? So we believe that's normal. We can all say, yeah, that's normal, And I'm trying to say, when you're talking, and I know what you're talking about individuals who are mentally ill, per se. Let's say that extreme. Let's say they're mentally ill. Now, what in the 60s, in the 1940s, and the 1920s, were there people like that? No. Was there a lot of homosexuals back then? No. And again, I don't care what anyone is. Let's just say that. I don't care who anyone really is. A transgender, we could use that as an example. Back in the 20s, it's very unusual that there would be such a thing, such as a transgender. Now our technology is approved. We think that we are, these great creators, these are great surgeons, what have you. So, I want to change my sex. I want to be a female. I can actually get that done. I can remove my genitals. I can actually do the entire slit embracing of surgical alignments that will prepare me to be all packaged up, healed up, and presented as nothing other than a female, right? Again, I do not care about the mental status of an individual who believes that they've really changed their sex and they are the different sex than what they came into this world believing or knowing they were. Male, female to male, whatever it is, right? So, and someone could argue, oh, that's crazy, or I don't understand these people. These people are very complicated, whatever. And that could be part of the deal, but, we're not allowed to say they're crazy, right? We can't go that far. And again, if you want to do all that work to change yourself up, it does not affect me. Same with abortion and, oh, that's killing, your children, whatever. You do have the right. If you want to cut your arm off, if you want to cut your hand off, pluck your eye out, you have that choice. So I do feel you have the choice to also cut the living baby out of your life that you created before it becomes a living human being. All these things are these inversions, what I'm getting at, in this prototype, archetype structure we're living in. It's a bunch of light shows, right? And you'll be like, well, why is it getting so mad? Why is it so crazy out here? See, and as time progresses, that's what's going to happen. We had the Dark Ages before. It's a repeat, actually. This is the Great Reset. We've had this happen a lot of times. It was just before everything falls apart. It's like we're gods with amnesia. We forget all this. And then it starts back over again. Then we have problems. We have this energy extraction. Some powers out there. And then some people over here will say they're aliens. These people over here say, it's God. We don't know how to explain it. It's got to be angels and demons. You got people over here saying, hail Satan, and I believe in ghosts, whatever. Okay? All these things are perceptions of your mind, even down to your reality. Your perception of other people, that this person's crazy, that person's nuts. This is what a normal person looks like. My experience is, of course, I'm living normal. I am right? And that's your ego, right? Because surely if you were living a wrong manner, you would try to change, wouldn't you? Or I'm not going to do that. I would never do this. Surely I wouldn't do that, right? I'm not going to shoot a needle in my arm. I'm not going to take medication or get a vaccination, or I'm not going to start doing drugs and start going out at the club and with these other filthy type people who are dancing and parading naked and abase themselves, gallivanting their jerking their thighs and their pelvis around, and what do they call that, twerking their booty, whatever, to get these other guys' attention. It's just kind of funny in itself. You think about all this stuff and extent people do to get attention. I got girls everywhere who want to use my network to promote them. I had the Plot Palm Tree Girls for a while, and there's that attention. They want to be known. They want to get their facet, their talent, maybe their music, their dancing abilities, their beautiful appearance out to the world, right? And you really think about that, the female conscious energy, that divine feminine, that creator energy has been so suppressed. Women naturally should have already have taken over the world. In a sense, they have. But the downfall is, bam, sold out to money. And what money does is it has a control where you no longer can really do things, be things, what you want, right? It's an aspect of absolute reality to this. Because of money. Money is the determinant, right? If she can dance, maybe get naked, maybe sell herself out here in the back corner, but then we'll put her in the front as this innocent, gullible, naivety asset, right? And it's like, well, no, she's just doing all that to get money. She doesn't really enjoy doing all those things, right? I don't care what it is, acting, music, what have you, but it is interesting. I was actually raised in the acting society. I went to John Powers. I come from an acting studio. I did the whole schooling and all that. It was just really interesting, the things I would see them do to get a role, or, literally, just go all out. It felt like everyone was a bunch of prostitutes that were just like, give me, I'm a whore, let me stand up and let me show you what I got. Put some makeup on, gallivant around and try to out showman, out spotlight the next person, right? So, all that said, I don't know if I really hit the main point. I'm just saying that, with all that said, could it be possibly? I know there's aspect, no, that person's really crazy out there. But, again, we go back to, you create your reality. And you bring in whatever it is. And when it's kind of like in your peripheral, when you're not paying attention, all of a sudden things start to happen and you don't pay attention, and then you're like, wow, did that really just happen? What did I just see there? These type of moments, kind of like subconsciously brought on by yourself, and they absolutely are. You begin to almost see a glimpse of these moments where you're like, damn, did I make that happen? And, sometimes we can even look at rendezvous, we can look at deja vu, like, man, I know I've been here before. See, what are these phenomenon, supernatural occurrences, Again, you are more attached into the higher source when you realize these things, that you are actually God. Beyond the idea of God, God is a man-made archon word after all. But when you begin to see who you really are, it's like, damn, you can actually supersede the fourth dimension. See, we're in the third dimension, 3D. You see something that has 3 dimensions to it. You can walk around a chair, a tree, you can go around it, right? And you see it change, the dynamic. We are in a third dimension world. There's no doubt about that. We've superseded the 2D dimension, which was just like a line. Our brain, in a sense, is like the first dimension or 0 dimension, which is before we created all this. So you have 0, and then 1 dimension is seeing the line. Imagine if you were a two-dimensional or 2D character, you would be like you're in a cartoon world, right? And literally, there's an absolute possibility that we could have evolved from a 2-dimensional world. A lot of numbers, platonic elements, and mathematic measurements they point to that reality, that we at one point could have been a protozoa in a 1 dimension, maybe even in 0 dimension, walking around as this protozoa parasitic little critter, fish, this or that or the other, and over millions of years evolved into bigger animals, bigger creatures, mixing out. This is alchemy. The different lands, the different nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, these different muds, these dirts, the bentonite clay, Damascus earth, B12, We are literally a collaboration of absolutely all these molecules and molecular atoms that are found in this light matrix. So everything is made of this bending light. The bending light is it's your subconscious booming into existence, blooming, if you will, all the energies that you need. If you ever had a bad day, go out in the sun, gaze at the sun for an hour, go barefoot, really do that. You'll notice all of a sudden you're energized. It feels as if you got everything you just absolutely needed for that moment. And you did. That's the reality. You really did. Whether you're aware of it or not, that sun is the conscious beam. You could call it the healer. Walks on water every morning through the ocean. It's the healer. It's the miracle man, whatever. And that's what throughout the ages have been anthropomorphically inscribed into some superhero, super sun god, I call it. Osiris or Horus or Hermes or Thoth or Krishna, Buddha. These individuals were connected with the sun and would say the same wise tales. When you gaze at the sun barefoot, you start to move life a little differently, become more selfless, letting go of money. Maybe you sell everything and just let go of all that money. Maybe you give it away. You then become this selfless Christos energy where nothing holds you back. Nothing can hold you back. You become like Christ. And we all have that Christ within us. There's literally a chrism in our brain. It goes down our spine, it goes back up through a kundalini effect, electrical rod, with the atmosphere, releasing this amazing chemical known as DMT, which is a God drug, a God chemical our own brain produces. So imagine if you tapped into that even deeper, doing these things, living it naturally, and actually getting there, receiving the reward, the award from your higher self, this compound being released. Because everything, when you feel joyous, happy, glee, bliss, right? That heavenly ecstasy feeling we have. What takes you there? What gets you there? Is it a thought? Sometimes it can be a thought. Maybe it can be a memory. Maybe it could just be the idea of just sitting and letting go, maybe relaxing for a moment. But that bliss can actually be targeted to an actual confounder, meaning there's something that can actually be the cause to that bliss, that happiness, that serenity. We could even say it is a releasing of serotonin or norepinephrine or, some of these different oxytocin, like kind of like oxycodone. When you hear it, it's like oxytocin, which is a chemical of love that your body releases when you feel like you fall in love. So really, do you fall in love? Because what if, say, this individual over here is playing you and you have this hallmark illusion. This is what I talked with another girl about. You have this hallmark illusion that everything is black and white, and the idea, I fell in love with this individual, so-and-so. It could be for you, some guy. I know he fell in love with me, or I could have a girl and I know she's in love with me, whatever. What is in love to begin with? Simply put, scientifically, we could say it was a spark reaction, a counter reaction in your brain that releases these chemicals, oxytocin and certain things that spark connectors in the hippocampus and different parts of your brain that releases a higher amount of testosterone for men. For maybe women, it triggers the hormone estrogen. And then there's this connection, almost like two magnets come together and say, and without saying it, everybody's looking at each other, the guy and the girl. And it's got to be guy and girl in particular. There's that connection for this to say, I want to procreate with that person. And bam, fell in love at first sight. And that is literally what it's all talking about. When the people say they fell in love, they're really saying, well, I had this spark in my brain to procreate with that beautiful, sexy specimen I want to get in with and have a baby with. That is literally what you're saying. But we've made these dichotomies and stereotypes and these different little boxes. He, like, for women especially, the guy has to do certain things, have money, a career. We got to have 25 dates, go to school together. We got all these different things, and then, we'll see what happens, right? But see, some people just fell in love at first sight, that first day. Since I was 15 years old, I've been in love with that person. See, and there's nothing wrong with, or it's a beautiful thing, if someone's been together for 70 years, they're 90 years old, and they've been together their whole life, whatever. It is possible, and again, this shows you how powerful your brain is. You can believe you're in love. I've had more people say, I'm just going to be alone, lonely, Eric, because I can't find anybody. Like, I had this girl who was really enthusiastic, recently found a boyfriend, thought that he was the one, and she didn't want to get too attached. She was so excited, exuberant about him, and I already knew that this was going to come crashing down because she gets too attached too quickly. But not only that, these guys that she gets with are the guys that are very more insensitive. They don't care, and yes, they just want to hook up with you for sensual reasons, if not sexual reasons. And how do you tell that to a girl who will ignore the nerdy type that's, whatever, spiritualist type right in front of her, whoever it is? Them girls, they want the bad guys, right? They want them guys that are abusive, create that drama. And that could be a whole argument for a whole other time and subject matter. It can go on for hours. There's no doubt about it. I know what I'm talking about. And women will say, oh, that's not true, knowing damn well that that's absolutely true. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have skipped every good guy that's a loser, the last guy that finishes last, to get with this guy who abuses you, who uses you. He's just trying to get you knocked up and pregnant, or you're maybe trying to get knocked up and pregnant by him. Blah, blah, blah. You have all this drama, and then it goes into baby drama mama experiences, which I have no kids. See, I've been playing my cards right. I choose correctly, I choose wisely. Do these girls want to get me knocked up, have me get them knocked up and pregnant? Absolutely. I can't get knocked up and pregnant, thank God. But, there's an aspect of reality that of course they do want that. They want the provider. And again, this is what I think is crazy. I think our matrix is an inversion of how it's supposed to be done right. But how do I find someone then who's in nature, the jungle, who lives off the land, who wants to do things the right way? See, we've created this world where everyone needs to be Adam and Eve. And I even did a video on that, because the original lover of Adam was a girl named Lilith. She's the goddess, the creator of the void, who holds the light. So before that, remember I told you the first dimension, boom, bam, big bang of light comes out of the void, nothingness. That's the plasma attack that we're talking about. That energy is Lilith, or why they say Lucy in the sky with diamonds, Lucifer, Lilith. It's the black sun, right? So we go back to that whole thing. The black sun is the actual indication of the creator of the entire universe. All these dimensions are being held by some outer structure that you can't keep squaring. But we can square certain things like space and time together. So we can say, and look at it from our outer third dimension, look at it from the fourth dimension. And that's what the fourth dimension is, Saturn, or the measurement of what we call or know as time. It's the fourth dimension. This is why you'd say, like the thing I wrote above about how what was it? You all, let me see, because I can now explain this. Everything you perceive, one, and even on the other side of the eye, everything that lies in the sphere of emotions, thoughts, memory, imagination, and even place where concepts themselves are born, it all belongs to me. I am time, and I will take it all. And if you do not wake up, then I will take you too. See, bam. So how do you overcome the Death Reaper? Kronos, the father of time. Saturn, or Satan, the adversary. See, these are the things that go along with time. But if you can jump to the fifth dimension, you can overcome all that. How you do that? Again, go back to living in nature. Things will be completely changed in your reality when you go to that fifth dimensional reality, that heaven, if you will, within, and realize you are God. Time doesn't bother me. I don't need time. It's not a big deal for me. I'm free from time. The time construct illusion then falls apart. And this is what we see is people out here who are living the crazed world, as we say it. Well, they are a product of time, of this fourth dimension. These are archons who have driven themselves mad, right? So what do? And same goes with the women and the men. And so you have a bunch of these archon shadow reflections that we can observe them, but again, there's no real reason to. They are always going to be in the background, like background noise, doing their own thing, creating this warfare. And you could say, well, the lower community level people, they're not doing anything wrong. It's these big megalomaniac people who control everything. They're the ones that are the problem, right? And you could go on and on about all that. But the whole purpose was the dumping ground, your emotions. This is what we're living out. We're playing out the nightmare we wish to not see or believe. And if you don't have control more of your subconscious, you're not healthy, or you're not alkaline, you're not doing the right decisions that are made for you, you will be a product. You become an artificial intelligent archon being controlled by the fourth dimension, by the Saturn's cube, time. Oh, I better get to work. Oh, I better go slave at this job. I better get my money. I need to get money. I need to get da-da-da. And that's Luna Marie. That's the money. The moon girl, she's wondering, how much do you make, and what are you going to provide, right? That's that Luna energy. It's in all of these frequencies we know as ourselves. And the one that's holding the light, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, that's the black sun holding the stars. Those stars are reflections into a third dimension form through the glass dome. That's your archons. So when there's crazy shit going on, it's already played out, already there. It's ready to be played out in the stars, in these archons. This is why I don't need to worry about these little tiny archons, these little star people. They're stardust to me. I'm connected with the sun. I am the soul. I am the main character. I wish the best for all of them, but I've created them. And that, when you can really understand that, you will understand the face of this entire reality. Nothing is a mystery to me. I literally connect with all things. Anything else is just, I've got these people that they're looking at all the wrong things. Oh, like we're talking about Corona, and then he talks about on his little show, all these archons are listening to so adamantly about how it was designed, but it's not the government that did it, and this is all part of, alien invasion. And see, they want you to, archons want you to think there's more than what is right here before you. Because then if you got grounded, connected with your higher self, looked inside, that connects to the outer space. When you get to the fifth dimension, it's over. You've got complete control. You have the keys to the universe, the mysteries of the universe, everything. And yes, I do hold that. Can I express into words? I've told you before. I have a really hard time expressing it into English archon words. They're just a bunch of labels and titles. It's all about the feelings. It's about what the reality for me is. I can look at all the platonic shapes and tell you, the dodecahedron or the octahedron, how important these shapes actually are. These people who worship Yahweh or God or this thing or that thing, they're actually worshiping platonic shapes. We are all like these little electrical energies, and the big thing, the phenomenon that we're worshiping, we talk about, it can all be measured into shapes, like geometry. And see, that's where people get freaked out. I got a shirt, if I wear my certain shirt that's got this certain shape, I have complete control over everyone. Why? Because they bow down to the shape. It's just like Yahweh is 72, which is 144. People say, oh, that's 144,000, whatever. Yahweh. But it's a shape. It's the hexagonal shape, And that's the Merkaba, which the Egyptians, everyone's always known this. This is all ancient wisdom that is. It just is. It's how our universe entirely works. But when we start looking further for like outer spaces and Mars and aliens, We are believing more fairy tales, just as much of a fairy tale as Jesus Christ and all this other bull crap. Again, if archons tell you it, then it's most certainly an illusion or a lie. So what do you know is what you got to get back to. What do you prescribe your reality to be? That's what it is. So be it, and it will. So if you believe there's crazy people walking amongst you, you surely will create crazy people before you.